Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I made this simple free gown with pleats at the hem. If it's what you like to learn, kindly watch till the end. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using about 3.5 years of Ankara fabric and 3 years of lining. The lining is 3 years because it's not going to be on the hem. Like I'm not going to use the lining for the hem. But if you want to use lining for the hem, you can go ahead to do that. That means you're getting 3.5 years of lining as well. So I'm going to fold my fabric into two. After folding my fabric into two, I'm going to determine the wideness or the width of my fabric. So I want to use 20 inches. I'm using 20 inches because I want from the waist part or from the half length to where the pleat started from. I want it to be very free. Like I want it to be very free. So I'm going to use about 20 inches for to determine the wideness of this fabric. You can make yours fuller if you want or less. After marking the wideness of my fabric, I'm going to use my straight ruler to mark my starting line. That is the point where the measurement is going to start from. After doing that, I'm going to use my office pin to pin my fabric in place so that it will not shift while cutting or making my marks on the fabric. After pinning it, I'm going to place my tape from that starting line and I'm going to mark downwards to my bust line, which is 10 inches, and my chest line, which is 2 inches above my bust line, that is 8 inches. So I'll make mark on those places, and I'm also going to make a mark on my half length. Then I'm going to place my tape on my half length and I'm going to measure downwards to my hip line. My hip line is 9 inches. So I'll make a mark on my hip line. Then I'm also going to still placing my tape on my half length. I'm going to measure downwards to my full length. That is my half from my half length to my full length is about 25 inches. Then from that 25 inches, I'm going to come upwards by about 6 inches. This 6 inches I'm coming upwards by is going to be for the pleats. It's going to be for the pleats. Come upwards by 6 inches and I'll make a mark there. Then use my ruler to square across on all the marks I've made. After that, I'm going to go back to my starting line and I'm going to increase my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder measurement is 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches. After marking the 8 inches on my starting line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then on my chest line, I'm going to come in by 8 inches as well on my chest line. So I'll mark 8 inches on my chest line and I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect from that 8 inches I marked on my chest line to that 1 inch I came down by for my shoulder slope. So after that, I'm going to go back to my starting line and I'm going to mark my neck width and my neck depth. I want this to be a very high neck. So for my neck width, I came in by 2.5 inches. You can come in by 3 or 4, depending on how wide you want your neck to be. So I came in by 2.5 inches and I came down by 3 inches for my neck depth. I'm going to use a cuff to connect it. Then I'm also going to go ahead and connect from my neck width to the 1 inch I marked for my shoulder slope. Now for my armhole curve, I'm going to place my tape on that 1 inch I came down by for my shoulder slope, downwards to the 8 inches I marked on my chest line. I'm going to find the midpoint of this straight line, then come in by half inch. And I'm also going to mark my bust measurement divided by 4 on my chest line. I'll make a mark there, then I'm going to use a curved ruler to connect from that 1 inch I came down from my shoulder slope down to the half inch I came in, and then to the 9 inches. That is my bust measurement divided by 4 that I marked on my chest line. After marking my armhole curve, I'm going to come down to my bust line and I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. So I'll make a mark and I'm going to mark extra half inch for ease. I'm marking extra half inch for ease on my bust line. Then I'll also mark 2 inches for allowance, for sewing allowance. Then I also come down to my half length, my waistline, and I'm going to mark my waist circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease. I marked half inch on my bust for ease, and on my waistline I'm marking 1 inch for ease. So after marking the 1 inch on my waistline for my ease, I'm going to add extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. If you notice, I was adding 1.5 inch instead of 2 inches sewing allowance. While I was cutting, I added extra half inch, making it 2 inches. So for sewing allowance, it depends totally on what you want. You can mark 1.5 inch, you can mark 1 inch or 2 inches. It totally depends on you. I normally add 2 inches whenever I'm sewing an Ankara fabric because I use lining to turn. I use half inch to turn the lining. Then I will having extra 1.5 inch after turning with lining. After marking my half length, I'm going to place my tape on my half length and I'm going to measure downwards to my full length. Whatever I get, I'm going to take it round, just like the way you measure a flay. When marking a flay skirt or a flay gown, you normally place your tape on your waistline and you're going to start marking the full length round. It's going to form a kind of circle. So that is exactly what you're going to do here. So you're going to place your tape on your waistline and you're going to start marking the full length measurement round. That was why I marked the wideness as 20 inches. So just place your tape on your half length and you start taking the measurement round, just like the way I'm doing in the video. This is because I want it to have a fuller effect from the waist down to where the pleat starts from. After marking it, it's going to be curved like this. So I'm going to connect it. I'm going to connect from my waistline down to that curve. After connecting from my waist, I'm going to use my scissors to cut this out. After cutting my front piece, I'm going to fold my fabric into two and I'm going to place my front piece on my back piece. The only difference between the front and the back is the zip allowance. I'm going to leave 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch for my zip allowance for the back. That is the only difference. Every other thing is the same. So just place your front piece on the back and you are going to mark 1 inch for zip allowance and then you're going to cut it out. And also the back neckline, I came down by 2 inches for the back neck depth, with the neck width remains the same. After cutting the back piece, I'm going to cut the fabric that we use for the pleats at the hem. So we minus 6 inches from the full length. So that is exactly what we are going to use. We're going to mark 6 inches plus extra 2 inches for folding and joining. So for the wideness of this, you're going to make it as long as you want. So if you have enough fabric remaining, you can make it very long. So after that, I'm going to cut my lining. The lining is exactly the same as the Ankara fabric. Pardon me guys, I didn't know my camera was not recording while I was cutting the sleeve. So after cutting my lining, I'm going to go over to my machine and I'm going to use half inch to join the lining to the main fabric. After joining the lining to the Ankara fabric, I'm going to use half inch to sew down the zip side and I'm also going to attach the zip. Then I'm going to join the shoulders as well. So I've gone ahead to attach the zip. I used half inch to sew the zip side, then I attach the zip. Then I also joined the shoulders. So this is it. The lining, I use the lining to turn the neck area and the sides, leaving the armhole and the down part open. Then I'm also gonna head to attach the sleeves. I didn't know my camera was not recording while I was cutting the sleeves. But if you want me to make a separate video on how to cut a basic sleeve, kindly let me know in the comment section. So I'm gonna head to attach the sleeves. I'm going to close this now. Remember we added 2 inches while cutting this, and I used half inch to turn the lining. So what I have left is 1.5 inch. So I'm going to place it front facing front, and I'm going to use my pin to pin it down. Then I'm going to mark 1.5 inch. After marking 1.5 inch, I'm going to go over to my machine now and sew this down. So I've gone ahead to fold the upper part and the lower part of this fabric I'm going to be using for the pleats. So I'm going to start pleating it like this, just like the way I'm doing in the video. Just place it on top of the clothes, and you start pleating your pleats just like this till you get to the back. And that is all for the making of this dress. If you find this video helpful, kindly like and drop a comment. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye.